Right. So you ever feel like you're just constantly like swimming upstream,
Yeah.
just trying to get things done?
Uh-huh.
Well, today on this deep dive, we're tackling that
No. Okay.
that age-old struggle, but we're going to do it with a twist.
All right.
We're going to explore a single page from a French text
Okay.
called Faire autour c'est ça.
Mm.
And
I don't speak French.
yeah, well, the translation is basically do
Yeah.
or everyone knows that.
Do or everyone knows that. Okay, yeah.
Pretty intriguing. Right?
Yeah, that is actually, it's, I mean, it sounds simple, but it
No.
sounds pretty profound. Yeah.
It's deceptively simple,
Uh-huh.
but like really profound. And this one page,
Yeah.
it seems like it's trying to grapple with like the essence of action,
Okay.
like what motivates us,
Right.
what holds us back,
Mm-hmm.
and how do we bridge that gap between what we want to do and what we actually manage to achieve.
I see. Yeah, I mean, we all struggle with that, right?
Exactly. Like, okay, so the other day,
Okay.
I was trying to like reorganize my entire closet.
Okay.
Like it's one of those projects you put off for months and months, and
Yeah.
I finally had the time.
Yeah.
I knew it would make me feel so much better if I did it,
Right.
but somehow I just like couldn't get started.
Yeah.
You ever feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. All the time. You know, it's like, you should do it,
Right.
but then you don't do it.
you don't do it.
Yeah.
And this French text
Yeah.
like dives right into the heart of that struggle.
Oh,
It lays out like 3 lines,
okay.
almost like a formula for action, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There is what we must do.
Okay.
There is what we want to do.
Right.
And finally, there is what we can do.
There is what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's like, there's all this stuff I have to do, like paying bills,
Right.
answering emails.
Yeah, all the necessities.
And then it's like, but, there's all this stuff I want to do.
Mhm.
Like learn a new language,
Travel the world, yeah.
travel the world, write that novel.
Exactly.
And then,
reality sets in.
reality sets in. And it's like, okay, but realistically, what can I actually pull off with the time and resources I have?
Yeah, I mean, it's so true. And it's interesting how the text, like, it progresses from the external obligation, the must, to, like, internal drive, the wants to, like, practical capability can.
You can.
But then it kind of throws a curveball at you with this final line. It says,
Okay.
but the most important of all that is what we managed to do.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
Right.
What does it even mean to manage to do something? Like,
I mean, I think it's about pushing through
Yeah.
all those internal and external barriers,
uh-huh.
those like mental blocks and real world limitations that like keep us from
taking action.
Yeah.
It's the difference between like setting an intention and actually seeing it through
Exactly.
even when things get tough.
Even when things get tough.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just about having a to-do list.
Right.
It's about figuring out how to actually check things off that list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it requires, you need a strategy,
Right.
you need some resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a good dose of self-awareness.
Yeah, like how do we actually implement this stuff?
Right, right. So, for example, there's this concept in psychology called
Yeah.
implementation intentions.
Implementation intentions.
Yeah. And basically, it's like, instead of just setting a
Yeah.
vague goal, you create a very specific if-then plan.
Okay.
So let's say you want to, exercise more.
Mm-hmm.
Your implementation intention might be like, if it's a Tuesday evening,
Okay.
then I'll go for a run after work.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Very specific, very actionable.
Yeah.
Takes the guesswork out of it.
Takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. So, I like that.
Right.
But what about those times when we just like,
Yeah.
we just can't seem to muster the motivation,
Mm-hmm.
even with a plan?
Well, I think that's where the irony of the title.
Of the title, right.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Comes into play. Like, it's almost like the author is acknowledging this universal human struggle, right?
We all know.
We all
know what we should be doing.
Yeah, but actually doing it.
Actually doing it.
It's a whole other story.
There's a whole other story.
Yeah.
It's like knowing you should floss every day.
Exactly.
You just don't.
You just don't.
Right.
That disconnect, that gap
Yeah.
between knowledge and action.
It's something we all grapple with, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it speaks to like the complexity of human behavior.
Yeah.
Like,
the influence of our environment.
our environment, the power of habit.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think about
All the things that I consistently manage to do, like, every morning
Yeah.
I make my bed.
Okay.
Even when I'm like super rushed.
Right.
It seems like so simple.
Yeah.
But then there are other things like sticking to like a regular writing schedule, that I struggle with. Like,
Yeah.
why is that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it's one that this text really encourages us
Right.
to look into,
Yeah.
because by laying out these different motivations for action,
Yeah.
the must, the want, the can.
I must want the can.
It's kind of prompting us to examine
Right. Yeah.
what's really preventing us from achieving our goal.
What's stopping us?
Yeah, is it lack of willpower?
Yeah.
Is it a lack of resources? Or, maybe even a fear of failure?
Or fear of failure.
I think the answer is probably different for everyone.
It's got to be.
Yeah. And I think it often lies in, like, unpacking
Our own unique set of obstacles.
Exactly.
So it's not about, like, finding a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
But it's more about understanding our own personal roadblocks.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting.
Yeah.
This text isn't, like, offering us a magic formula.
No.
But it's giving us this framework for
self-reflection.
Yeah. It's asking us to kind of, like,
look inward. Examine the reasons behind our actions.
It's like inaction.
Or inaction. Right. Yeah. Wow, this is really
it's just one page.
This single page has, like, sparked so much thought. It's like a reminder that even, like, the simplest ideas can hold, like, really profound insights.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as you go about your day today, think about it.
Yeah.
What is one thing
that you consistently manage to do? And what's, like, one thing you struggle to achieve even if you, like, really want to?
Right.
What are those internal and external barriers that are holding you back?
Right.
And most importantly, what steps can you take?
What steps can you take?
To bridge that gap?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Keep those questions in mind. And until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving.